Welcome to Music in the Making. We are 3 high school and junior high music teachers from West Central Illinois. Each week we will talk about our experiences in the classroom, community, and personal lives too. We're no experts by any means, but any help we can provide to our audience of music friends is why we pursue this new venture. Please welcome your hosts, Lisa Hallen, Art Martinez, and Kevin Ferry.
Why do I have the impulsive, I want to just be like, hey guys, what's up? This is your band director ASMR.
That's where we'll start the episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to the 3rd episode of Music in the Making. We have Kevin Ferry as usual.
Hi, Mr. Martinez.
Hello. Ms. Martinez here as well. Miss Hallen unfortunately cannot make it. We are actually on spring break right now.
That's how dedicated we are.
That's right, yeah.
Spring break.
So spring break, we come in, rain or shine, sort of like the post office, but not really.
Or not.
But today we do have a special guest with us. We have the famous, the one and only Dr. Mrs. Martinez. Say hello, Dr. Mrs. Martinez.
Hello.
Hello. She is obviously my wife, and so she is in the district as well. She teaches K-3. So we probably will have a separate episode centering around her job. For sure, and then we'll definitely have maybe a first-year teacher, because this is your first year teaching overall. And the way that she's going about it, I think, is super unique, and I think definitely for people who are listening who might know someone that maybe wants to get back into the field or go into the field of teaching, some things they should need to know. We'll definitely have an episode on that. So, but today we're going to talk about the days approaching organizational. So we talked the last episode about solo and ensemble, and just to kind of briefly recap, that's essentially the individual student or the much smaller groups. Now we're talking about the full concert band, the full choir, and what that will take. So that performance will be for high school a week from this upcoming Saturday, so April 15th. Well, 14th and 15th, and we'll maybe talk briefly about what that means for both days. But yeah, Mr. Ferry, any comments that you want to get out of the way for organizational coming up?
Yeah, just to make sure, we talked a lot about last week the things that go into solo and ensemble contest. Organizational contest is a completely different beast. As Art said, the full groups. But getting prepared for this is a monster, and at the level that we're trying to compete and perform at, I think takes a lot of dedication. And one of the things that is really cool about our district and our department is Dr. Martinez. Or if you hear us say cat, there's not a kitty cat running around. Her name's Cat. So one of the pieces that we're preparing for our top audition group is For the Fallen, and it is a cappella with trumpet accompaniment, and Dr. Kat Martinez has a doctorate in trumpet. So we're going to utilize Dr. Martinez's skills, and there
it is.
There goes the phone.
What kind of skills you ask?
Exactly.
Yeah, Miss Hallen texting during the podcast.
Of course, I'm sure.
But so we are on spring break, but because we have 5 days off before contest, and the lovely state of Illinois decides that on Wednesday of contest we have statewide testing. Mm-hmm. So we only have 3 school days of rehearsals. Our kids, God love them, they're actually in rehearsing right now with our student teacher, but our kids came in on their first day of spring break. Dr. Martinez came up and we worked through For the Fallen. But that's, use those people in your music department. In the past, we've had, percussionists, we've had trumpet players, we have horn players, we have bassoon players, you have piano players. Use everybody in your department. I think, number one, it keeps them playing. And I know, Kat, you play a lot otherwise. But if you're reaching out to your elementary staff to see what their instrument is, and you can use them, maybe they feel more a part of the overall program. Because sometimes we forget about our K through 5 general music teachers, and they are so important to getting our kids to the level that we want them to be at. So don't ignore your grade school teachers, because they are awesome, or your general music teachers. Make sure that they are involved in all the decision making and the budgeting and the curriculum mapping and all the other crap that goes along with it. We are blessed to have so many talented musicians, and so are you out there in Colorado and Mexico, right?
That's right. Yeah.
You have those people around you. Just ask. I mean, Dr. Martinez could have said, "No, I'm not playing for you," and then I'd have had to go find a different trumpet player. But that's just not how we roll here. We help each other out, and so we're really excited that we have that opportunity. And the first time she played with us, our kids were like, "Oh my God," because they don't know. They never hear me sing other than in class. They've probably never heard Art play a bassoon, or Lisa play a French horn, or Emily play a French horn. So they don't know. They've never heard Caitlin McCullough sing, or any of us sing for real. And so when we do it, other than modeling, our students are pretty amazed. And I could see the looks on their faces. And when you got done, they were like, "Oh my God, she's phenomenal." And she is. I mean,
thank you.
I get it. It's a doctor of trumpet. But it takes a little bit to get a doctor of trumpet. And I'm just joking. I have no idea how much that takes.
Kat, where did you go to for your doctorate?
University of Nebraska, Lincoln.
Go Big Red!
Yes.
We have a fan of Go Big Red at Monmouth Roseville. So, but yeah, I agree. I think just going around into your department and say like, "Hey, would you love to sing in this portion of the concert? Or would you love to play this instrument, this solo part?" I think it also allows the expansion of literature as well. Like for a choir, generally speaking, it's just piano or it's just no piano. But there are so many unique choir pieces that feature a cello, feature a string instrument, a guitar, a trumpet, and even if you don't have a cello, you can substitute it with some other instrument and it'll still be a unique performance. And I think the students just, again, love that opportunity.
I think too, in certain departments, it can become easy to polarize the choir versus the band. And I love that we don't do that here. We do quite the opposite, and we bring in we bring together everything about music and we unify it. And I think that's a really cool thing too.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
A healthy culture.
A healthy culture. There's not this combative, well, the band didn't do this or the choir didn't do this. And you're not fighting for time. You work together to get time for marching band rehearsal versus a madrigal rehearsal versus a jazz band rehearsal versus a pep band game. Rather than being adversarial about it, we just work together. And all of us music teachers understand that in most cases the pecking order is athletics, then hopefully us, right? In most cases. And so we're used to, and we complain about it for sure, that, why doesn't a kid ever choose to go to music rehearsal over basketball practice?
Right.
Because here, and I coach track and football, and the fear of not playing overwhelms those kids. We as music people never put, I won't say never, but that's not philosophically how we teach. It's not, hey, if you don't show up to rehearssil, your second trumpet is out. We just don't have a second trumpet player. We deal and adapt. So whether you're complaining or not about your athletic programs doing what they do, think about that same situation between your band, your choir, and your orchestra. Everybody working together to make that schedule, rather than, I scheduled a madrigal rehearsal for Tuesday night. I didn't know you scheduled marching band. And then you've got kids stuck in the middle, and that's the last thing we want, are kids stuck in the middle of, I have to choose between whether it's band, choir, athletics, the play, the musical, scholastic bowl. We don't want to have kids choose. And I guess at Monmouth Roseville, we're really blessed to have an athletic director who is a huge supporter. He can't sing a lick, but he's a huge supporter of the music program at Monmouth Roseville. He even, last week I was listening to him on the radio talking about his athletic athletic director duties with our radio guy, and he even mentioned, hey, next week's a little bit different week. We're used to packing things on Friday and Saturday. We have our state music contest at Monmouth Roseville this week. So, and then our radio guy was like, oh yeah, it's organizational contest. Our kids are going to be going for a state championship this year.
Yep.
So, like, it's better to work together than apart is my big thing there. Not just throughout the school, but departmentally. If you can work together, everything works so much more smoothly.
Right. I mean, do I wish I had more opportunity to play for the kids? Of course, because you can only say in words like play this articulation like this or make it sound like this. But and to do that with only by speaking is you can only go so far, especially for band. I mean, I think like, we say like articulate like this too. You're doing do, and they're like, I don't know what that means. And if you were to play it on an instrument, it might make more sense. But it always seems like, okay, I have to now have this extra instrument out, or I have to do this, I have to do that. It does maybe take a little bit more preparation if you want to go that route, but I think it'd be worth it, especially if you're just trying to get the point across. But I think generally speaking, the students also just forget that we're musicians. Like, they forget that the reason that we are telling you how to do it is because we can hear it, but like we've had the experience, and maybe they just haven't had enough experience to identify it themselves.
Well, it's school experience versus, and I don't say this in a derogatory way, but like real world experience versus school experience. And they only know the school experience right now, so we're trying to kind of immerse them into that real world experience of what can you do when you're done with high school with music. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things you can do with it, and I think that they've just started to see the tip of the iceberg with that. So and experiences like going to IMAC and things like that are going to continue to build that passion for them, so that when they are out of high school, they will want to keep pursuing it as they go through life.
Right, exactly. And of course, we want all our kids to go into music, especially for college. But at the very least, I tell my kids, like, you're learning a skill that will get you lots of money when you go to college. So please, stick with it. It's worth learning these skills because you'll
also be a poor musician.
Yeah.
I always tell my kids, like, when you all become music teachers, like, of course I say it like somewhat like lightheartedly, yeah. Because it's like, I want them to become teachers so they know like what it's like to be a teacher, because it's the only way to know it. But at the same time, it's like, when you take this journey, like, even if you're like, I'm definitely not going into music, good. I'm glad that you have your life goals. I'm glad that you have those things, right? Yeah. But don't stop playing music, because you're going to find yourself like, man, I really wish I had my trumpet still, or I wish I still played my guitar, or with this. And there's tons of people looking for musicians still. Like, there's tons of gigs, church gigs, like jam sessions. There's like all this stuff out there in the real world, as Dr. Mrs. was just saying.
Why does he do that? Dr. Mrs.
I don't know.
Is that a him thing or a you thing?
No.
Do you want a Dr. Mrs.?
Do you want to call?
Do you know how pretentious that sounds? So,
for you or for him?
I refuse to be called doctor. A lot of my coworkers don't know it. Joe Pilger, we love Joe Pilger. He wanted to put, I think, the doctor on the wall or whatever.
Oh, yeah, for your name tag?
Yeah, and I was like, no. I got a doctorate because it was a goal of mine since, undergrad. I remember just wanting to kind of prove to myself that I could do this for a living. And that passion grew more, and as my confidence grew as a player, it grew more and more into, I really want to do this for me. And so I literally did the doctorate for me. Did I want to teach at the collegiate level? Yeah. But that's a long story.
That's so funny. I want to teach college ensembles.
Now we're teaching
kindergarten. Kindergarten.
Well, no, in a way,
going,
mild soft.
Well, and
short.
Going back to that, like, everybody experienced some sort of burnout, I think, during the pandemic, and they experienced just a lot of life changes, and that for me was where I kind of hit a brick wall and was just kind of like, I'm not enjoying this as much as I wanted to. So
let's go tie shoes and wipe noses.
Yep.
Well, no.
Yes.
I I think I also just was like kind of overwhelmed by how saturated the collegiate market was at the time. It still is.
Yeah, it's very competitive.
It's so competitive, and that's fine. Competition is great, but I wasn't in it. You know, like I just was not mentally wanting to put myself through that. Also, I had just spent 3 years long distance with my husband. And so
Mr. Martinez.
Mr. Martinez.
Master Mr.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not flashing degrees. Anyway,
Yeah.
so for me, it was more of I want to be able to build a life with my husband and still continue to do music in some way. Like I was never ever going to give up trumpet. So anyway, you know, we moved back to Macomb, kind of spent a gap year, and then just doors were opened. So now I get to do the best of both worlds. I get to dip my toe into teaching K3, which is actually really fun. And then I get to teach.
God bless you.
You have to have a lot of patience. You have to be the right person. Mr. Ferry, I think you would actually.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done pre-K through 12 vocal music. I did it for 9 years. And
It's a lot.
you're never supposed to say never. However,
Yeah.
It's a lot. But I, get to teach collegiate lessons over at Quincy University a couple nights a week, and I get to play it at the Quincy Symphony and get to gig around and do these fun things, teach private lessons. So for me, my life as a musician isn't what I planned. But I don't think anybody's life really ends up that way, like, as a musician. I think I had seen something on Facebook, and I shared it, I believe. It's like a pie chart of what your life as a musician should look like. And it's all these different pie charts of, like, different quantities or percentages of, like, you can teach collegiate 90% of the time and then gig 10% of the time, or you can teach 50% of the time. And it was like split up all these different ways. And then one of them was have a non-music job, and I thought that was so cool because I think a lot of people feel the pressure if they get a degree in music they have to keep doing it and live up to other people's expectations. And I feel like I'm proof that you don't have to put yourself in a box if you're not happy. And so for me, that was exploring other alternatives and other routes of teaching music, and here I am teaching K3 music right now. Eventually I do want to move up and teach band and all of that, but that'll come in time. But I'm enjoying my time right now teaching the kiddos, and then obviously teaching my private lesson students over at the university. So it's rewarding. You have to kind of when life gives you lemons.
make a margarita.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and just to kind of get closer to wrapping up, like, I know we are very lucky to have both Mr. and Dr. Mrs. Martinez.
Stop it right now.
In our school district, and hopefully, we just we're blessed to have good people that show up and want to do all of these wonderful things, and those people are out there. I think maybe the air quote lesson of the day is just try to get along and work together and collaborate across the department.
Right.
It works, and
be friends?
yeah,
Right.
I mean, why can't? Yeah, it works for us, and it can work for you. I know of several departments that it's so combative, and
It is.
and
It
we're
is.
not that way at all.
Right. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, and it also helps that you are so heavily involved in athletics. I think that is so cool.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that does, because I can kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And the AD and head football coach is one of my best friends. That we have those conversations, and it's a priority at Monmouth Roseville. Music is a priority at Monmouth Roseville. I've been in those places where you can't shut down the gym today.
Right.
For PE in May. One day of PE, they can either go outside or, hey, go put them in the music classroom and watch a movie.
Yep.
It'll be okay for one day.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Here I sent out an email saying, hey, we're closing down your gym for 3 days. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we understand. We get it. We'll figure out something else. And that's just, and that doesn't happen overnight. You have to build that. So, oh, wait a minute. The bell rang.
But wait, we're on spring break.
Time to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely
Who's here?
keeping it organic.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Mr. Neely, Mr. Ferry.
Okay, we
Mr.
just
Dillon.
have the peanut gallery walking. All right, let's wrap her up.
All right. We're gonna finish up this episode with the last 2 minutes in. It's okay, you're good.
Yeah, you're on a podcast
Yeah, you're
right now.
good. You're good. We'll have
everyone.
Mr. Dilly, one of our English teachers at high school, but he also
Spanish.
Spanish. Sorry,
Actually,
Spanish.
EDL, but yeah.
Spanish teachers, but he also has guitar club, which I think will be really
Yeah.
cool to have him bring him
just
on.
another example.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
go
So,
find those musicians in your building
Yeah.
that aren't music teachers. We
another
have
one.
them.
I would love. I think it would be awesome to have like a choir that's like just teachers. Like even if it's like we teach them like a simple song. Or
Oh,
something
sure.
like that. That'd
Yeah,
be
like
so
our
cool.
math. One of our math teachers was an all-stater.
Yeah.
At Alito High School.
Yeah.
No, and another one of our math teachers I was in choir with in high school. So, yeah, I mean that actually would be cool. Last year we put a band together.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, and they had me sing and like, not to sound pretentious, but I'm classically trained.
Right.
Right, and so we put this band together. We had 2 guitar players, our art teacher and our Spanish teacher were both guitar players, our accompanist obviously, and then our band director at the time was a percussionist. And then, believe it or not, our director of maintenance is a bass player.
That is awesome.
What?
And
oh,
so-
that's right. It's
Oh.
like Dave. Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
thought-
crazy.
And he plays
okay,
keyboards, too.
Yeah,
Dave
that's awesome.
plays everything.
But for homecoming, we got together and we sang "We Will Rock You," and then that went right into, because "We Will Rock You" is just drums and voice until the end.
Yeah.
We did "We Will Rock You" and then right into "Sweet Child of Mine." Now, again, I'm classically trained.
Right.
I'm not Axl Rose.
Yeah.
And they kept throwing out, well, why don't we do this? And I'm like, that's Prince. That's Michael Jackson. That's Axl
Yeah.
Rose. That's Bret Michaels. Like,
Yeah.
I'm Kevin Ferry. I don't have that.
Sing like that. Yeah.
I would
and-
love to hear you do a Michael Jackson.
So they're like, okay, what key do we need to put this in? And then it was like a 4th lower than Axl Rose, and it was still freaking high. Like it was still ridiculous. And we went out, and the kids just loved it because,
Yeah.
whoa, I didn't know Nick Dilley could shred, and he played the lead guitar part.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Platt, our art teacher at the
Yep,
time,
Jerry does play
he
guitar,
was
too.
he was the rhythm guitar, and those 2 were just jamming.
Yeah.
Just
That's
insane.
awesome.
And then Dave Greenleaf's just thump, 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 thump. I mean,
yeah.
it was so much fun.
Yeah.
But Kyle left, so we don't have a drummer. Jerry left, so there's a second guitar player. We gotta find all those things, but they're out there. So anyway,
But I think it's important again. But
hey,
again,
1 minute.
Yeah.
1 minute.
One-
That's the 1 minute tardy bell.
Okay. Well, just to say that the musicians are out there. They're actually everywhere. They're not just only in the music classrooms. And for you to find ways to include them in your program, I think would mean the world to them, but even more to your students because they get to see that interaction. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for listening today.
Keep making the music.
Keep making the music
Keep
every day.
doing it.
If you're approaching spring break or if you already had your spring break, hope it was a great one. So we are on Apple Music and Spotify
whoop.
officially. So please, if you like what you hear, please share everyone and give us a follow. Definitely, it helps us.
Smash
with
that
things.
like button.
Yes,
Smash.
smash that like button. Yeah, click the like button, all that good stuff. If you ever know anyone who could benefit from our topics that we cover, please, reach out to us at musicinthemakingpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear any suggestions and all things music that you want to hear from us. Thank you, Kat. Appreciate your
Thank
time
you.
today. Mr. Ferry, as always.
Mr. Martinez.
Miss Hallam, wherever you are, I hope you are safe, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Girl.